What does it look like for you when you're just trying to find your feet in outside of the family home and getting on with
Mm.
life?
It wasn't easy, actually. It was pretty tough. It was lonely, and there wasn't a lot of money. So sometimes I actually lived on tuna on toast.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
And surprisingly to this day I still like it, which is really strange. But I
yeah,
lived that was it. There wasn't, like, rent was huge. I lived in Sydney. So rent
yeah.
was massive and there wasn't much left for food or anything else. So, I worked out that I needed to um, get better sales jobs, as I was good at sales. That's what I was good at. I wasn't trained in anything. I had no schooling other than high school. So I had to kind of go by the seat of my pants, really, and look and lean very much on my own personality and see what was going to work for me. I did hospitality stuff, but sales was probably what I was best at, and I could make better money doing that.
I'm interested to, and you're giving us the highlights reel, right? So I'm interested in a bit of the behind the scenes, right? Because you talked about when you were growing up, there was a lot of language around "we can't afford it." You
Mm.
had some emotion when you were talking to us about how that growing up had some challenge to it, and then you met your husband, who was a really nice balance for you and taught you different things. Was there any derailers that popped up from time to time?
Oh, I think, nothing huge that comes to mind. It's more, I think it really just repelled me to make
Be
a
different.
very different life.
Yeah,
A
yeah,
very different life, and a very different life for my children. I think
yeah,
I never wanted them to feel like I felt.
yeah.
We're a very close family, and our children are 22, 20, and 17 now. So they're almost grown, and we're still very close and we love being together. So that was probably the drive for me. Yeah.
Naomi, there's a lot of people who have difficult upbringings and they are trying to break free from the experiences that they've had. It's clear that in terms of what you're telling me that you wanted more, more in life than what was on offer in the life that you were living at that moment. And
Yeah.
and that's through no fault. There's no judgment there in terms of what that is.
Mm.
But you made a conscious decision that you wanted your life to represent more and to be more for you and to ultimately be more for your family. You've made a conscious decision to sort of say, that's not going to be my place in the world. That's not
Yeah.
going to be my spot. I'm going to
No.
break through that and I'm going to, get that adventure. And an 18-year-old person going straight to Sydney. Did you have anywhere to live in Sydney at the time or did you just
I lived in
stay
a
on a spot?
pub.
So you basically moved into upstairs of the pub and
Yep.
then
I
set
shared
yourself up.
I shared a bathroom with an 80-year-old man. Like, it was, like, that lived down the hall. I probably just did my hard very early.
Mm,
And it's something I talk about a lot of this with my children, because they have had a very different life, but
Mm.
they're not getting away with being, little turds.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. No, no, no.
I
Yeah.
talk
Yeah.
about they need to be
Yeah.
contributors. We've always talked about being people of character, and even raising them. Like, it was always, the question would always come back to, if they were being little turds. I want to say the other word, but if they
yeah,
were
yeah.
being little turds, I would say, well, is this the person you want to be? Like, if
Yeah.
do you want to, if this, you're in control of who you are. So is this who you want to be? And I think it was one of the best questions I ever asked my children as young teenagers. And so I think also, because I had a lot of delayed gratification of things, if I wanted things as a child, I might have gotten them, but it might have been 2 seasons later.
Mm,
It was
Yep.
never when it was trendy to have it.
Yeah.
So
know that feeling.
yeah, so I think
Mm.
our kids didn't always have everything they wanted either, just
Which
because
is
we could. Or
Yeah.
and we've taught them quite hard how to invest their money. Like, our son, he's our youngest. He has ADHD, and we said, I don't think you should be finishing high school, mate. It's not right for you. We've always said to our kids, we don't let school get in the way of a good education. So for him, he left at school at 15, and he's doing a landscaping apprenticeship, and he's
Right.
outstanding. He does high-end stuff, like they're doing stonework and all of that kind of stuff. So he's doing high-end stuff, and he's a Lego fiend. So I'm like, he's just doing it for a living now.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's getting paid to do it.
And
Yeah,
he's getting
yeah.
paid to do it. And so the part of the discussion with him was, we're going to actually take your wage. You're going to get $100 a week to do with whatever you want with it. But we're going to put your wage in an offset account against our mortgage. And so we've done that, and we've invested a little bit, but he doesn't know. And so through that, he's been able to buy himself a car, because he needs a car for work, because he has to be able to get to work. But he has saved. He's 17, and he's got a car, and he's saved $20,000 already on his way to be able to buy his own house. I wish my parents had taught me how to do that. When you've been through hell, being able to just deny some comforts or whatever is not as hard then. I think if you've lived a life of comfort, maybe it's a little harder to not have to, to go without or whatever. But I just wanted the little guy to feel like you can do it, and you can do it on not huge incomes. And I don't know how to say it without crying. So
Well, you can cry all you like, because you are incredible. But I love it. Doesn't matter where you start; it's where you finish. I mean, that is incredible. That's the message that you're sharing with our audience. But also, that's what your kids will be picking up, right? And as they watch this back with you, and they can get to be really, really proud of you, because that message is powerful. Doesn't matter where you start; it's where you finish, Ben.